How in the world, in the span of 12 days, has Brock Purdy slayed the Dolphins, the Bucks, and the Seahawks? The Seahawks, the greatest rival of the 49ers. And you know it's not their year, but still, to go on the road, and we showed the play at the top that to me is the play of Brock Purdy's day. And Mike, last night in transit, I just sent a quick note to Kyle Shanahan, a text congratulating him on winning the West with his third quarterback who wasn't even all there. It was all, and he just sent back a very curt, he goes, thanks. He was unbelievable. And look, to be able to do what he did, Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports Bay Area had a great analysis of this last night. The first footballs that he threw were in a walkthrough in the ballroom at their hotel a few hours before the game because he just wasn't able to practice. He had a bad oblique. Watch this. This is a guy who's hurt. Fake, find Kittle, open, touchdown right at the beginning of the game. And I was wowed by his presence. Mike, I continue to be impressed with a guy who, it just nothing seems too big for him.
It really is unbelievable. And for him to step into the fray the way he did after Jimmy Garoppolo went down 12 days ago, as you said, against the Miami Dolphins, and no moment's too big for him. No spot seems to intimidate him. He's got a great presence of mind. He had plenty of throws where he just looked like a guy that's been doing it forever. And he's got that, as Kyle Shanahan said after the game, poise, the most poise of any rookie he's ever coached. Stories will be written, books will be published on the question of how in the hell Brock Purdy lasted until the very end of the draft. And I'm sure teams are quietly kicking themselves. Not that, it makes me wonder how many other Brock Purdys are floating around out there that just haven't gotten an opportunity. Because that's the final key ingredient to what we're seeing. You have to get onto the field through some chain of events completely unrelated to your skills and abilities to even give anyone, including the player, an opportunity to find out what he can do. So, I don't know. Maybe there are plenty of great players out there that were taken in round 6 and 7 that just can't get onto the field, Peter.
It's classic Geno Smith. What Geno Smith says, that if you judge a player too early in his career, oftentimes you're going to miss out on the greatness of that player. And in his case, in Brock Purdy's case, you say, how possibly could this happen? I think everyone minimizes to a point that I think is just, it really kind of overlooks the obvious, Mike. If you play 48 games in the Big 12, that is going to stand you in pretty good stead when you get to the NFL. And look, we all know that he didn't have a lot of moments of great triumph, in college football. But just think of it, Mike. 48 games in Austin, in Norman, in Iowa City, and in wherever else, the Big 12 is, Lubbock and all that. And so I think that the answer to Brock Purdy might be hiding in plain sight. And the answer to Brock Purdy is he had an awful lot of experience and people just didn't love his college performance. Just because you don't love somebody's college performance, I think you got to hand it to, when I talked to Shanahan about this after that game a couple of weeks ago against the Dolphins, he talked about the guys on their scouting staff who, went to the wall for Brock Purdy and basically said, we had a lot of intel on this guy, and it turns out to all be correct.
Definitely another level. It was another level for me just watching someone do it. It was the injury he had last week, and for him to be ready to go today, which, I mean, when it's still, you could tell in pregame warm-ups, you know, a number of things that were really tough for him. And for him to be able to just play, let alone to play the way he did, to protect the ball. I knew he struggled to move a little bit at times, but there at the end for that 3rd and 1, for him to be able to run and move the chains there, they had a lot of respect for him before that game, but a lot more now. I mean, he's definitely the most poised rookie I've ever had. You know, he's been like that since he's gotten here. From what I hear about him in college, I think he was very similar. You know, just starting as a freshman, and I mean, he's been great. He was poised all week. Even him being unsure of whether he'd be able to go or not. You know, I think that was uneasy for him because he didn't know what to expect till he got in the game. Under our circumstances, we didn't have any other options or choices. We're going to see how long he could last, and we were ready to go with Josh. But he got comfortable and got better as the game went, and it was pretty unbelievable.
Really is amazing to have that oblique injury, and then you put in the short week, and he still was able to come out and play at a very high level. How about this fact, Peter? Brock Purdy joins Aaron Rodgers as the only quarterback since 1950 to have a passer rating of 115 or more in each of their first 2 career starts. Now, a lot of people don't believe in the passer rating because it doesn't take into account mobility and running, but just pure passing, accuracy, and effectiveness in the passing game. Yards per attempt, completion percentage, touchdown percentage, interception percentage. He is extremely efficient, and he is extremely effective. And he does have the ability to get you with his legs. That play late in the game where he rolled to the right and Christian McCaffrey was fading out that direction, and he knew to wait for the defensive player to commit a key 3rd down late in the 4th quarter, and he knows exactly where and when and how to slide, the exact spot to finish in bounds, stick the ball out past the sticks. I think Pete Carroll made a frustration challenge there, because why are you thinking that? Why is that getting overturned? That ain't getting overturned. Now, you may not have access to that view, the people in the booth who give Pete Carroll the up or down as to throw the flag, but I just think, what the hell, I'm going to call a timeout anyway. I'll throw the damn red flag. I have my challenges. Maybe I'll get lucky. But that just is an example of that poise. That's a maximum extreme situation. Game on the line. And he makes a play with the same kind of cool that you would make midway through the 2nd quarter with no real consequence attached to how that all played out. That impressed me as much as any throw that he made the entire night.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.